So my advice would be to have no expectations. Don't think about anything but getting here and experiencing the culture, because there will be culture shock, and just kind of getting integrated in that way. And so what I've learned most is about myself, because you do have a lot of time. Even though it gets busy at times, you do have a lot of time where it's just you. And so you're able to really learn more about yourself. So some things I've learned about myself: I am more flexible than I was prior to arriving in Swaziland, and my patience has certainly increased. So I think to be kind to yourself, because especially when we think about projects and stuff like that, and they'll get to see during the different periods, but sometimes you feel like you're not doing anything, you're not making a difference. So my advice would be to just stay focused on the day. Like, try to be present. Don't think about what has happened, what's going to happen. Just kind of be present in the moment and appreciate everything, whether it's a conversation with a host family member, whether it's experiencing a new food, or just try to stay present. And that's the one thing that I've learned and that I'm continuing to embrace every day. And because there are going to be periods like now we're COSing, so we're thinking about what's going to happen and really not taking time to just embrace this time. It's thinking about, okay, where I'm going to work, what I'm going to do, and I think that my advice and what I've learned the most is just to be present.
The biggest project you'll work on is yourself while being here. So I feel like you kind of get like this idea like, oh, I'm here to work, I'm here to be in the community, I'm supposed to be doing all these big things. But like all the meanwhile, like in the process, like more than anything, you're working on yourself. I think for some people that's like the hardest thing to kind of get a grip of, considering like you're in America, you're always being stimulated by something, like you're always surrounded by something, you're always doing something. I feel like most people aren't used to having that time to reflect. So I feel like for being here, like be able to kind of embrace that downtime. And although you may not see it as something tangible, like, oh, I didn't build this bridge or this school, whatever you have in mind for what you'll be doing for your service, like embrace the time you have to like work on yourself, because that is a project in itself. So that would be my word of advice.
I would say that as much as you can, obviously we have, preconceived notions of what we think Peace Corps is going to be like, but as best as you can, not to have any expectations coming in. I think every community is so different, and every host family is so different, every school is so different, so even just amongst our group, like everyone has such different experiences, that just to come with an open mind and like an open heart and open hands for just whatever may come your way, because there's definitely things that you can't control, and there's things that just happen to you and don't happen to someone else. So just to come with no expectations as much as possible, although it's difficult, I know.
Yeah. And kind of going off that, I mean, I know this isn't maybe advice for until you get here, but just kind of like not comparing yourself to any other volunteers. And that's, I think, one of the biggest thing I think for myself and probably like most other volunteers is you see other PCVs that are like all the things that they're doing and all the experiences that they're having, and just kind of not comparing that and just being present, like focus on yourself, just on what you can experience and what you're doing, because we all have completely different scenarios, so, and we all have completely different backgrounds as well. So I think it's a unique experience, and something that is going to be unique to you, and you're going to grow in it, and so you can't compare it to anyone else.
All right, I hope no one takes this in offense, but try to shed yourself of the savior mentality, which I feel like a lot of us did come in with that kind of mentality. I'm gonna do this for this community, and I'm gonna build a school, and 80% of the kids in my community are gonna know English, kind of thing. Like, it's really big goals. Not taking into consideration that you are coming into a community that has a totally different mindset of development, but also a community that struggles already to just make ends meet, to like do the regular things that they're supposed to do to like get on with their days. So like it's kind of hard, like I've which it's been my struggle, to like remind yourself that people are not lazy. They just already have so many things to do just to do to go by the day. Like for instance, like my Cece, she goes to school, then when she comes out she washes her clothes, then she fetches wood, then she fetches water, then after that she comes back and cooks, then she's watching over the kids, then she still has to study and go back to school in the morning. So it's like when you're asking people, oh, work on this project with me, when really like, yeah, the benefit of it in the long run, it'll be great, but when you can only think of like the next day or next week, you're just trying to make it to the end of the day. It's kind of hard to want to volunteer yourself for something that you're not gonna get like a benefit right there and then. You're not gonna get any money for it. You just have to have your heart in it. So I think it's important for us to like remind ourselves of that, and just kind of, and also not think it's if projects are flopping, that it's not like a reflection of ourselves, a reflection of like how much passion we have for the work that we do, or how just talented we are, or how motivated and such. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense. It was a lot of word vomit. But yeah, so that's my advice.
I think serving in a country like Swaziland, you become more aware of just everything, of diversity and just different cultures, and to be sensitive to those different cultures. Because coming in, to a country where you're the only one of that particular culture, you're treated a certain way. So when the roles are flipped, it's very interesting. It's very eye-opening. So that would be probably the biggest thing that I learned is to be more aware, and more sensitive to other cultures, and to be more open-minded, and tolerant, I guess, to other people.
Yeah. I would say a person hears a lot. There is no rush in Swaziland. That's not always true, though. Like, the rush, you can feel it internally. Like, things will be moving slow around me, or I'll miss a bus, I'll be waiting for it to come, and I can feel that I wanna go. I wanna do something. The best experiences I have is when I let that feeling, that emotion of anxiety or impatience, just let it go, and I step into the not rushing. And that's when I have great conversations with people. That's when I learn about potential project ideas. That's when I sit down with somebody and have the 30-minute conversation that we couldn't have had in 2 minutes to find out what's actually going on somewhere. So I guess let yourself step into that slow place and really just be in the environment, be with the person who's there with you, and don't give in to the little monster inside of you who wants to do everything at once. That would be my little bit of advice.